I've got a turtle tank here that I get to service. Now he looks like a very happy short-necked turtle. Now the first thing I'm worried about is no UVB light going directly to the turtle. It's really important that any UVB light is not filtered through glass. So we need to replace that with some sort of mesh, because right now he's not going to be getting the UVB, and I can see on his shell, I can see potential issues. So this needs addressing right now. Now the other thing with any compact or fluoro tube is they do need to be replaced every year or so. So on the basis that I'm assuming that this is more than a year old, so this says UVB 100. It looks like it is E20-18, so probably 18 watts, but I'll double check that. But yeah, I'm going to want to replace this really quickly, because we do not want 25 watt, 26 watt, okay? We need to replace that tube ASAP in order for the turtle to get the UVB light that it requires. Also the water's a little bit yellow, so that's quite common with turtle tanks, but I'm going to recommend that we put some activated carbon in the filter. Definitely some poly. I really recommend that every aquarium has is a magnet cleaner, because these things just make giving the quick little wipe over of the glass a really good idea. You just want to make sure that you don't get any of the gravel caught in between the magnet cleaner. And you can just keep it on the tank, and it keeps your tank clean. And it's really simple. Something I'm always worried about is lack of contingency. So in this case we have a filter, and that filter is quite easily going to filter this aquarium, but that doesn't allow any contingency, which means if that filter is off for some reason, if it gets clogged, if the impeller breaks, if a cleaner unplugs it, if you forget to plug it in, then there's nothing else to keep these animals happy. And in saying that, this filter is quite capable of dealing with this aquarium. But if you get more and more fish, the demand on the filter is going to increase. And then what happens is the filter is going to grow lots of good bacteria. And that good bacteria is going to suck the oxygen out of the water. So therefore, the only way the oxygen is going back in the water is by the agitation of the filter return. And then once again, if we have an aerator as well, so we have the bubbles as well, then that's going to help with the oxygen. And then this is going to be more of a case of re-aeration as opposed to aeration. Where quality is concerned, it's not too bad. We've got no ammonia, we've got no nitrite. We do have a little bit of nitrate, so a water change is not going to hurt. pH is okay, but it's a little bit on the low side. Now, interesting, our KH was about 14, so we're not going to add any KH today. And the GH was about 30, so we're not going to add any GH today. Now, in regards to GH, that does tend to build up, and the things that make it build up is by adding too much water ager. So double dosing water ager is fine, and I want the water ager to go in whenever there's new water, but not going stupid. If you go pouring like way too much in, that'll make the GH level elevated too much. So I'm going to do a water change today. I'll add a regulated amount of water ager, but I'm not going to add GH or KH, and that really needs to be tested on a monthly basis in a perfect world. The other thing is, with a turtle like this, whether it gets along with the fish is very much, will your dog get along with my dog? You can try a certain fish with a turtle and you might find it works, or you might find your turtle rips it in half and eats it, or just rips it in half. Now, when you're feeding a turtle, I normally like to feed it 3 to 5 times a week. And then if you look at the shoulder of the turtle, if that starts getting puffy, that often means the turtle's overweight. So then you need to feed less than whatever you're feeding now. And then if you look underneath the turtle, if the shell's going up at all, then you probably need to feed more. But you don't want to go from one extreme to the other. You just want to feed a little bit more than you did, or a little bit less than you did, and over a month or so, you want to start seeing a little bit of an improvement. So you want to know what your turtle should look like, and then you want to just slowly make changes until the animal is showing good signs. So I'm also going to put a calcium block in today. So the calcium block is going to make sure that he's got good calcium, because we need to see that shell. We need to get that shell healed as soon as possible. Now I'm using a gravel cleaner, and I push that into the gravel, and I get the dirt out of the gravel, and it's not really that dirty. This isn't that bad. And if the gravel's not dirty, that's often an indication of whether you're feeding enough or whether you're doing enough water changes. So in this case, the amount of water changes seem to be okay, but the gravel is quite clean, which means that you really can consider increasing the amount of food, but I'd be doing it only very gradually. I don't want to go from one extreme to the other. Now what I'm going to do is use water that I've drained out of the fish tank for cleaning the media in the filter. And the other note that I'll just say, when I'm selecting a canister filter, particularly for the bigger ones, one thing I'm really looking for is how easy it is to pick up. And because this one's got no handles, particularly these bigger models, they're quite hard to maneuver around. So just look for handles. Nice big strong handles make handling these canisters much better. Now something else I want done every service, it's good to peel out the impeller, give the impeller a clean, because all this muck will affect its efficiency, and clean out that little housing there, and you'll find the filter will run much better. Now the filter itself is what does the filtering, but what you put in the filter is what actually does the actual job. So in this case we've just got some noodles and we've got some sponge, and it's very, very basic. We could easily put a turbo in this filter and get much better results out of the filter if we start using Marine Pure, because that offers parallel denitrification. It's far superior to this media, and I'm going to put some polyfilter in there now, because the polyfilter will polish the water beautifully. Now the other thing I'm going to want to add to this tank is a thermometer, because it's all good that it's got a heater. I'd rather the heater have a heater protector on it, which I'll bring, because a big animal like a turtle can smash the heater, and that's never fun. And then we really want a thermometer, so we can actually tell the temperature, as opposed to the heater, which actually just sets the temperature. So then we're going to add these fish in, and whether the turtle decides to get along with them or not is purely up to the turtle. Heads you win, tails you lose. Will your dog get along with my dog? Now to maximize the aeration returning back to the aquarium, I've shortened the filter outlet, and I also just want to note that these fittings here are not super well on, so maybe some cable, some hose clamps wouldn't hurt to go on there, and the extra air stone is going to make me feel better. But this here, by raising it, means we're going to up the amount of oxygen going into the water. Now with the turtle, it's really important they've got somewhere that they can pull themselves out and dry their shell, and that needs to be right under where your UVB light is, because the UVB light is what is needed to penetrate straight to his shell. But it's not that uncommon to not see them, because particularly if they're a shy turtle, they're very much aquatic and they will want to stay in the water unless they're feeling 100% safe. So we've just chucked a few extra cichlids in here now, and we're really hoping that Mr. Turtle is friends with them. But whether Mr. Turtle is friends with them or whether he decides to make them food is very much up to the turtle. All we can do is try. We've had some electric yellows in here quite successfully, and now we're just going to take a gamble and chuck some more in. We've also put the turtle block in to make sure that he gets the calcium that he needs, because I really need to see that shell repair. Because this turtle is, as far as we understand, over 20 years old. So we want to just make sure he's got everything he needs to last for as long as he can, because they can live for a lot longer than that.